The poker world has seen a lot of ups and downs in the past decade, going from the poker boom to many poker scandals. Poker strategy has gone from small ball poker to GTO-based strategy. However, we're only going to focus today on the brighter side of poker. What is up guys, Maxi from Poker Bounty bringing you today the best and greatest poker moments of the last decade. Number 1. At the start of the decade, the poker industry was in the middle of its golden era, aka the poker boom. Online poker was thriving in the US, with major poker sites like Full Tilt Poker and PokerStars attracting millions of recreational and pro players to the virtual tables. Being a poker superstar was nothing short of being a movie star, and with that came perks like sponsorship deals. Pros such as Daniel Negreanu, Phil Hellmuth, and members of the team Full Tilt Poker could break even at the poker tables and still make a comfortable living. In Nevada, the state with the most poker rooms and the home to the WSOP, the game was booming. From January 2010 through July of 2011, the revenue exceeded $10 million in the state every month except 2. Number 2. The online poker boom started way earlier than 2010, but it was towards the end that the real phenoms of online poker stood the test of time and went from online legends to stars of the televised poker scene. Early in the last decade, Tom Duan was among the most popular players in the game. When he appeared on Poker After Dark and High Stakes Poker, two shows everybody in poker loved, you just had to tune in to see him pull off an epic bluff or two. Duan was so popular that after he left High Stakes Poker, the rating of the show dropped by almost half. Duan was a game changer because of his loose, aggressive but controlled style of play. By 2010, he was like a rock star in poker, much like Hellmuth, Negreanu, Phil Ivey, and many others. Few, if any, poker players lit up the game like Tom Duan did in the late 2000s and early 2010s. His every live appearance was appointment railing, as was every nosebleed session on Rail Heaven. One of the most insane stories related to Tom Duan this past decade was the day he almost bankrupted the high-stakes economy in 2010 with his bracelet bets, and Simon Watt saved everybody's bacon. Number 3. Everything sort of came crashing down after Black Friday in 2011, and that was called by many as the end of the poker boom. But to all the Full Tilt players whose funds were locked, it was even more painful. Thankfully, 3 years after Black Friday, players started receiving their funds back after Full Tilt and PokerStars struck a deal with the Department of Justice. The money was sent in waves starting February 28, 2014 and ended on October 28, 2016. Around 45,000 players were refunded, and the total amount of money was roughly $114 million. Number 4. Football is the world's biggest global sport, and Neymar Jr. and Cristiano Ronaldo are the two most famous practitioners of the modern game. Rafael Nadal is one of the top 5 tennis players in history and one of the biggest sporting figures in the world. Bringing them all on board as ambassadors of the game of poker has quantifiably increased its legitimacy and credibility in the global mainstream market. It's brought untold number of new poker players into the game and injected much needed dollars into the poker economy. Number 5. Mark Newhouse's back-to-back WSOP main event November 9 appearances is one of poker's greatest accomplishments ever. The main event is such a special, pedestal-worthy event that just making the final table twice is mind-boggling in and of itself. It would have been a difficult accomplishment in the pre-Moneymaker era, and it's downright unfathomable in the post-Moneymaker era that Mark Newhouse finished 9th both times. Number 6. With big buy-in events happening with regularity around the world these days, a $1 million buy-in tournament doesn't sound all that incredible anymore. Back in 2012 though, it was a huge deal. And the first big one for one drop, spearheaded by Guy Laliberte, was pretty thrilling. The WSOP partnered with Cirque du Soleil founder Guy Laliberte to bring the massive tournament to life. Aside from the spectacle and millions of dollars, the tournament raised money for Laliberte's newly founded charity, the One Drop Foundation, which aims to bring safe drinking water to crisis areas. A total of $111,000 from each buy-in went to the foundation, while the rest went on to create a giant prize pool and one of the greatest single payouts in poker history of $18 million. Since then, there have been 3 more 7-figure one-drop tournaments and other massive buy-in tournaments having sprouted up in Macau and London. The title of the largest buy-in tournament now belongs to the $1,050,000 buy-in Triton Millions charity tournament with its $109 million prize pool, which was absolutely insane. The massive prize pool turned the all-time money winners list on its head. Number 7. Aaron Zhang took down the record-breaking Triton Millions event, beating Bryn Kenny heads up to first place, but he did not capture the top prize after a deal was done before heads up began. Zhang got $16.7 million for his first place finish, and Bryn Kenny got the biggest prize in poker history, amounting to $20.5 million. With this, both players instantly got legendary status. Aaron Zhang instantly became one of the biggest tournament poker winners in history. And Bryn Kenny shot down Justin Bonomo to top the poker all-time money list with current live winnings of more than $56 million. Bryn Kenny started off the year by winning the Aussie Millions event for almost $1 million, and then he had 4 more $1 million plus scores throughout the year. Kenny won $3 million in March for finishing second in the Triton Super High Roller tournament in South Korea, and then won $4 million more in May after winning the Triton Super High Roller event in Montenegro. With his recent Triton High Roller win, Kenny finished 2019 with a total of $30.3 million in live tournament earnings. Number 8. 2 more poker heaters. At the ripe age of 23, Fedor Holz had the most dominant summer in poker history. In 2016, the German sensation won a then record $16.1 million in live tournaments. That included 4 7-figure scores, the most notable of which netted him $4.98 million for winning the $111,000 WSOP High Roller event for 1 drop. Holz did not last long as a poker grinder, however. He took his money and moved on to motivational speaking and investing in startups. He still plays in occasional high roller events, but is much more focused on other ventures. And then came Justin Bonomo in 2018, and his heater surpasses all heaters in the game of poker, winning a record $25 million in a year in cashes, including 10 outright victories against the very best players in the world, and at that time topping the all-time money list. Bonomo started off the year with a 7-figure score too. He won $1 million on January 6 for finishing second in the $100,000 Super High Roller at the PCA, and then won $4.8 million in March during the Super High Roller Bowl in Macau. In May, Bonomo took another smooth $5 million for winning the $300,000 Super High Roller Bowl in Las Vegas, and then won double that during the WSOP. It seems like the secret to having a ridiculous poker year is by winning $1 million or more in January. Number 9. While increasingly huge buy-ins were the trend in the mid-late 2000s, by the mid-2010s, the poker economy had almost reversed itself. In vogue these days are much more modest buy-ins accessible to punters of virtually any bankroll size. The first ever WSOP Colossus in 2012 was the first bracelet event under $1,000 buy-in. The guarantee was $5 million, and 22,372 players bought in to break the record for the largest poker tournament ever. Colossus 2 with a $7 million guarantee did similar, as did the Millionaire Makers. The 888 Live Series and Unibet Open Circuit are breaking records at virtually every stop. Then came the lure of the PSPC. While the PokerStars Players Championship didn't have the ginormous buy-ins like the One Drop or Triton, it did come in a hefty $25,000 and gave hundreds of free entries called Platinum Passes to players around the world. The year-long build-up along with the allure of the Platinum Pass gave the PSPC a magical aura reminiscent of Chris Moneymaker's 2003 WSOP main event win. Hundreds of recreational and amateur players were going to be playing in one of the biggest tournaments in the world with some of the best players in the world. And all the best players did show up because there's no way they would pass up the value of playing a $25,000 tournament against hundreds of amateurs. The tournament took place at the 2019 PokerStars Caribbean Adventure in the Bahamas and drew 1,039 players. In the end, it was a Platinum Pass winner who took things down. Spanish player Ramon Calilas won his pass playing small buy-in tournaments across Spain and turned the ticket into a $5.1 million payday. Before that, he had only about $10,000 in live tournament earnings. The PSPC is continuing on into the 20s, and the second iteration will be held in Barcelona this August. Number 10. Rise of Twitch and YouTube. Back in the day, we had poker blogs and were forced to see our televised poker fix sandwiched between salacious or geriatric commercials at 3 a.m. Now there is a never-ending stream of poker content thanks to YouTube, Twitch, and others. In the last few years, there has been a huge rise in live streaming poker. That's what Twitch.tv has brought, and its dramatic rise in popularity has shown that there are still uncharted poker markets out there to be reached. Jason Somerville is of course the king of the medium, but cohorts like Parker Tonka and Jamie Staples have likewise built up extensive followings. Big guns like Lex Feldhaus, Dutch Boyd, Doug Polk, Jeff Gross, and Bill Perkins have also jumped on board and reshaped what you can expect to see on a stream. Bill Perkins' amazing PokerStars Championship package giveaways sets a whole new bar. Meanwhile, feature and final table live streams from poker events around the world have also become the norm and opened up a whole new level of accessibility for poker fans locally and internationally. YouTube has also joined the bandwagon with poker vloggers like Andrew Neem and Brad Owen, both with more than 100,000 followers each. They're as responsible as anyone for the continued growth of the game and give poker fans a glimpse into the poker lifestyle. Also, with pro players like Doug Polk and Daniel Negreanu having their own dedicated poker channels, it's now easy for fans to learn a thing or two about poker from their favorite poker superstars. With so many people consuming poker on YouTube, it's no surprise poker's popularity is on the rise. So those were the 10 best poker moments and accomplishments of the last decade according to us. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.